To the Latinos that voted for him, you will never, and I repeat, never be white. You will never be accepted as one of them, and you certainly are not exempt from the racism that is this racist regime. When that lady put in her post, "Alligators' lives matter," and she mentioned a number, that number being 65 million. Do you know how many Latinos are in the United States? Approximately 65 million, according to the U.S. Census Bureau.
Why do you think they're targeting us so heavily? Why do you think the hatred and racism against us has intensified? It's always been there. It's always been there. We've always felt it. But in the last few years, and specifically the last few months, it's excessive, right?
Looma has come on another platform and she made a statement about how alligator lives matter, and now at least they will have 65 million meals. There are 65 million Latinos in this country, so I don't think that was just something silly that she said. I think that there was...
Welcome back to the channel, my people. Hopefully from wherever you, my lovelies, are watching this from, you are doing all right, and I do hope that God has protected you and preserved you very well. I do appreciate all of you that engage with the content. Shout out to my members as well that support the growth of this channel. Thank you so very, very, very much. We do have another interesting episode in the house to look at, and in this one we're going to be reacting on the Latinos, or we are going to be looking at the reactions of Latinos towards Alligator Alcatraz. A lot of them are concerned for their lives because apparently some of the MAGAs want 65 million people to be meals to alligators, right? And yeah, Latinos are out here. They can't believe this is happening. And they have quite significant messages that we have to listen to. We'll come back and talk about it. Just do me a favor, like the video, share it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're landing on here for your very first time.
To the Latinos that voted for him, you will never, and I repeat, never be white. You will never be accepted as one of them, and you certainly are not exempt from the racism that is this racist regime. When that lady put in her post, "Alligators' lives matter," and she mentioned a number, that number being 65 million. Do you know how many Latinos are in the United States? Approximately 65 million, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. Approximately 60 plus million people. So guess what? They weren't just talking about the illegal immigrants, because data actually says that there are 10 to about 12 illegal, undocumented folks in the United States. They're talking about you. They're talking about people like us, because we are not exempt from the racism that is rooted in what these people believe in, and frankly, the foundation of this country that was built on the stealing of land from indigenous people by immigrants that came here from Europe. But when you think that you are better than an immigrant because your family came here the right way, remember that this land was actually stolen from day one. So when you think that you are better because you're second generation or third generation because you've been an American for a longer amount of time, I hope that you never have to experience a time where you have to flee a country for your own safety or that of your family. So when you think that you are somehow not going to be affected by any of this, when you think that you don't have to care, what happens if you are next? What happens if it's someone that you personally know? And I know already, because we've seen it. We've seen the clips of people that supported him, diehard supporters that are now crying on the news because their family members are getting deported and they thought that they would never be impacted. You see, in this country, so many people lack empathy. They are unwilling or somehow unable to think beyond themselves, and then we run into these situations. Wake up. The proximity to whiteness isn't serving you, and it's not serving the community. You have to recognize what is happening, because ultimately, they're not just going after criminals. And all of this is connected to so many things that impact our community and frankly are holding us back, like anti-blackness and colorism and internalized racism. And if you think that these are woke words, look them up and you will realize what exists, what has existed in our community for a very long time. And I say all of this because there are so many people that have fallen to the false prophets of the world, and I need us as a community to come together and wake up. So if you're wanting more of this type of content, follow for more, because we need to have this conversation.
Anybody else wake up this morning to the whole Alligator Alcatraz bullshit, and Laura Loomer posting about how now they have enough food to feed 65 million alligators? And I'm like, that's so silly. Like, where are they coming up with 65 million? And then you realize they're getting that number because there's 65 million Hispanic people in the United States. And then you know a little bit about history, and you're thinking, okay, so this feels a little similar to the 1932 consolidation of power phase of Nazi Germany. And then you're like, oh, you're being so silly. That would never happen here. Ay, Marisa, que pendeja. Like, you're being so dramatic. And then you're seeing all these people just being taken away. And people, like good people, not criminals, but like abuelitas and moms and 6-year-olds with cancer. And a group of people in this country are really celebrating all of this. They're like excited, and they're calling for the extermination of our people, and they think it's funny. And then you read comments and people are really cruel. And then you're like, no, just vote for Love Island and distract yourself and go to the gym and go run your errands. Just be normal. And but there's something gnawing at the back of your mind, like a warning. This is a warning. And so anyways, anybody else starting to feel, I mean, I have been feeling like something's wrong for a while, but I think I've just been distracting myself. So yeah, what are we doing? Anybody else going through this?
Why do you think they're targeting us so heavily? Why do you think the hatred and racism against us has intensified? It's always been there. It's always been there. We've always felt it. But in the last few years, and specifically the last few months, it's excessive, right? It's because of this. Because they feel threatened. They can't compete. The only way to do so is to literally kick us out of the country, kill us, or feed us to alligators, I guess. They can't compete. The stereotype that we're just the people who clean your toilets and mow your lawn, that no longer holds up. We're your lawyers. We're your doctors. We're your kids' teachers. We're your therapists. And we're bilingual. So we will always, always, always be more qualified for any job.
You're not going to hear about this on the news, of course, but one of the president's top advisors, Laura Loomer, just called for the side of Latinos in the United States. In a tweet, when talking about the alligators at Trump's newest concentration camp for undocumented immigrants, Alligator Alcatraz, she said, "Alligator lives matter. The good news is alligators are guaranteed at least 65 million meals if we get started now." You guys, there are not 65 million undocumented immigrants or immigrants in the United States. But you know what there is 65 million of? Latinos in the United States. And that's exactly who she is talking about when she is referring to the 65 million meals for the alligators at Alligator Alcatraz. This is proof that it was never about the immigrants. It was always about making America white again. They are no longer hiding it, they are saying it out loud, and it is time that we start believing when they tell us who they are.
Did you all see that the first set of migrants that are being detained in Alligator Alcatraz have arrived? You can see them boarding this ship so that they can be taken to the location. They have life vests and they're shackled. You can see agents that are all around them. And this one's taking a picture for some reason. Qué tristeza, la mera verdad. For anyone that hasn't heard, in Florida there was an abandoned airport that they are transforming into a detention center for migrants. The name comes because the surrounding area is wetland and there are alligators as well as other wildlife, so that migrants are not able to escape. Images of the inside of the facility have come out and it looks like this. Literal cages for human beings. This location is supposed to be able to house 5,000 migrants. They're having hella callouts of human rights violations. Just look at these conditions. Keep in mind that the majority of the folks that are going there are being detained without warrants, don't have a criminal record, and due process is not being followed for them. A lot of folks are even labeled facilities like this one as concentration camps, alluding to things that happened during World War II, and the similarities are all there. Qué terrible, familia. Please spread awareness so that folks know what is happening to humanity right now. And as a reminder, this is going to be on the wrong side of history, so just remember what side you're standing on.
Now, why would this racist Halloween mask looking ghoul of a human tweet out this? Now, we know this sack of shit has always been a racist, but why would she tweet out 65 million? It seems very specific. Hey Siri, what would be the significance of 65 million? Oh! The entire Hispanic population is 65 million in the US. So the Hispanics for Trump, they're coming for you too. But let me be clear. It's not just about Latinos for Trump, Hispanics for Trump, blacks for Trump, Asians for Trump. I don't give a fuck for Trump. They do not give a fuck about you unless you are a white Christian, period. Take it from Donald Trump himself, who said if Stephen Miller had his way, there would only be 100 million people in the United States, and they would look like Stephen Miller. Huh. So please, use this as a moment to come together. Every ethnicity does not matter. If you're opposed to Trump, if you're any minority, come together, take care of yourself. We have to defeat this fascist, racist dictator in office.
Laura Loomer has come on another platform and she made a statement about how alligator lives matter, and now at least they will have 65 million meals. There are 65 million Latinos in this country, so I don't think that was just something silly that she said. I think that there was meaning behind that statement that she posted. Now my question is for those who voted for him, who are Latinos for Trump, as they're known. How does this make you feel? Because you're included, girl. You're included in this, okay? No one is safe. She meant you guys, too, in the 65 million. You're about to be alligator food. That's what she's saying. She's saying that the alligators are going to have 65 million meals, and you guys are a part of that. That's a little crazy. You gotta feel stupid now. I wonder how y'all taste. Probably like shit.
Laura Loomer's tweet is actually disgusting when you take into account America's horrible history with alligators and people of color, or people they find undesirable. The tweet I'm referring to is Alligator Lives Matter, 65 million meals if we start now, referring to the 65.2 million Latinos in America. What is extra troubling about this is America's history and connection with alligators, feeding people of color, specifically black people and black children, black babies, to alligators, using them as alligator bait or alligator feed. It was so common that it became a joke. They would put it on postcards. Here's an example. They would use it as advertising for their licorice. Here's another example. And it happened for so long. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Laura Loomer chose crocodile meals as her threat. It's because it's not. Everything is connected back to racism, if you want to believe it or not. It just disgusts me in the year 2025 that we would still have to live looming under the weight of racist past, and that they are so emboldened today. I'm just disgusted and angry.
Remember when I said the American concentration camps were coming? Well, it brings me no joy to be making a sequel, because this is no longer a warning, it's a reality, and it's happening in the Everglades. They're calling it Alligator Alcatraz, a mass detention camp being built by ICE on tribal land, surrounded by actual alligators and snakes. It's isolated, it's hot, and it's made to break people down, physically, mentally, and legally. They say it's for efficiency, but what they really mean is out of sight, out of mind. Far enough that no one protests, quiet enough that no one notices. Environmental groups, tribal leaders, and even local officials are begging DHS to stop, but they're pushing it forward. Why? Because this isn't about safety. This is about control, fear, and erasing people. Florida is about to start detaining up to 5,000 people in tents with no AC, no real shelter, in 100-degree heat, mosquito swarms, and choking humidity. Officials are literally bragging that nature will do us some favors. Let that sink in. They're using the environment as a weapon, hoping the swamp will do their dirty work. And get this, it's set to open next week. This is happening on U.S. soil. This is America telling us we're building places to disappear people. And if you're not scared, you're not paying attention. If you ever said never again, this is your moment. Share this. Speak up, because silence is complicity.
If you really think that Alligator Alcatraz is supposed to be temporary, just like how they said the concentration camps in Germany were supposed to be temporary, then you're delusional. And the fact that Laura Loomer came on social media and said, the alligators are going to have 65 million more meals. Go and do the fucking research and let me know how many Latinos are in the United States. I'll wait. Okay. The goal was it has always been to eliminate the Latino community. This isn't just about immigrants, okay? This isn't just about criminals. This isn't just about murderers and rapists. No, this isn't a conversation anymore about criminals. If this was a conversation about criminals, then the president would be the main topic. This is a conversation about wanting to get rid of Latinos, point blank, period. And if you think that this sounds any different than what the Nazis were doing in Germany, then you are delusional. And I'm over the conversation about, I'm a Christian, he's a Christian man, he's gonna make America great again because he's a Christian man. You have blood on your hands. pro-life this, pro-life that. No, what you're doing is making America an absolute nightmare. I'm pretty sure that the America that my parents had in mind when they immigrated from Honduras was not this. It was never supposed to be this. I'm ashamed, I'm disgusted, and if you call yourself a Christian and you have a cross around your neck and you voted for Trump and you voted for everything that is happening right now in the United States, that is not devotion. That is delusion. Get a f***ing grip.
I don't know, guys. It's something about Laura Loomer saying that she wants to feed the entire Hispanic population to alligators. That's just like kind of rubbing me the wrong way. Mega, what's your excuse with this one? She was just talking about undocumented immigrants. No, she wasn't. 65 million is the entire Hispanic population in the U.S. Are we allowed to say that we want to feed maggots to alligators? Because at this point, I'm pushing them, kicking them in, plugging them in.
The fact that there were people in our country cheering about the fact that the government was able to create a uninhabitable and unsafe immigration holding area in the Everglades is insane to me. Laura Loomer just tweeted out today how she wants the alligators to eat 65 million immigrants, which is the entire Latino population in the United States. And I want to show you this area from Google Earth so you can understand how uninhabitable this area is. It doesn't matter what time of year it is, especially since we're going into hurricane season, it's especially cruel, but any time of year, this is not an environment where human beings can live. So right off the bat, the last time Google Earth satellites have updated over this area in Florida was in February of 2024. So this is not updated, and that's probably intentional, similar to how the Google Earth satellites don't update over Gitmo. So I'll be curious to see if we see an updated image here in the next few weeks or so. But here's what it looked like in February of 2024. But what I really want to show you is some of the other Google images that we can see from the surrounding area so that you can see what kind of a swampy wetland that this is in. So as you can see right there, there's the airstrip that's being turned into this immigration center. If we go right here, which is not far at all, we can see the terrain that these people are living in. And I apologize for invading in this family's swamp tour, but like this is what is surrounding this immigration center in the Everglades. And this poster on X made an excellent point after we got an inside view of what the tent city in the Everglades looks like. And this person pointed out something very important. They stated, first thing I spotted at Alligator Alcatraz was the linoleum floor. When exposed to moisture and water, it releases mycotoxins, which are deadly. Is this a death camp? We've seen that just a little bit of rainpour causes these tents to flood, and there are electrical outlets and generators all over the place. If someone were to take a wrong step on a puddle during a flood, they're going to be electrocuted. So anyone who's feeling like so overwhelmed by what is happening right now, I want you to really hone in on this triangle of immigration cruelty that is happening in and outside of our country done by our government. You know how we have the Bermuda Triangle? Yes, this is the triangle of cruelty in the United States. These are going to be the places you want to keep your eyes on because these will be the places where immigrants go and don't get heard from. Again, this is where they go to disappear. CCOT, Gitmo, and the Everglades Immigration Facility. It's a little bit easier for people to track down their loved ones when they are in immigration facilities that have been well established, that have been in the United States for years, et cetera, et cetera. But these newer facilities that are having droves of people sent to them will be the ones where human beings get lost in the cracks, either intentionally or non-intentionally. And I'm not saying don't keep an eye on all of the other immigration facilities. Please do. There are atrocities happening in all of them. But it's really beginning to feel that once an immigrant comes to one of these facilities, it's the end of the line. Like I wouldn't even drop my dog off at a facility like this. It's too much.
It's always been about their obsession with seeing people going through it. That, for some reason, gives them a level of satisfaction that not any human really needs to even be getting, especially if you're human, right? And those people that think this is just, fear-mongering, one thing I always say here is these people don't lie about how they want others to be treated, especially in terms of, really taking people through pain. That's one of the things that satisfies their heart. I don't know where they got the obsession with this kind of treatment to others. I don't know how all of this came about, but history has always proven to us. We look at history and reflect on that and know that for sure this is not just to fearmonger, but these are things that they are actually capable of doing. Let's not forget, Alligator Alcatraz was built in how many days? Meanwhile, the American citizens are going to be stripped of their Medicaid and Medicare, yeah, the SNAP benefits. It's quite a lot of things, right? But they would rather sacrifice all of that just to make sure there is something that entertains them. That is entertainment to them, okay? So these people are willing, and I think this message goes out there to the people that voted for him, that it wasn't just about the illegals. From what you're looking at and the discourse that is going on the internet from the MAGA nuts, they want all of you, okay? Including those of you that put them in power. So the proximity to whiteness never make you white. Unfortunately, you will never be one of them. You can do whatever they want you to do. And once they reach in a position where they want to reach, they will throw you down and step on you. That's exactly what they are doing. The excitement that is in these people's, voices, you cannot believe that these things are coming from these people. And you know what? You see, right now they are talking about Hispanics, the 65 million, right? But there's a lot of people that are going to be brought to these detention centers, because soon as they get done with this, it's like for them it's an unending desire that, oh, okay, now we are done the Hispanics, who else? That's why you see them talking about the Haitians, right? That's where other people are going to literally come in. It is such a scary thing to even imagine that you reside with people like that. I have seen a lot of them. They are literally advocating for a white nation. That's what they want. So as long as you are not them, you don't fit. They really don't care how they go to that land, even if they had to steal it. They don't care how much red liquid has to be spilled from real humans, right? For as long as this is something that satisfies them, they will always be okay with that. And they can go miles. They can sacrifice everything. For me, I've never encountered hateful people like that. I have never. But for the populations that voted for this man, you probably didn't see this coming. Even if everybody was saying, you know what, it's not going to turn out well. You got him for the economy. I hope the economy is doing great. Is it? I'm not sure. But literally, this is the panic that y'all brought to the whole of America. And the crazy thing is, it's not just because you have real human beings that genuinely worry for you. Yeah, they may not experience what you're going through, but they genuinely worry. And this is creating an environment where Americans don't even feel like they are Americans. That's why even Americans are now exiting. They're like, this is not worth it. But those are some of the reactions from the Latinos that are concerned. Those that are like, if you voted this person, we hope this is what you voted for. Because even those that are naturalized, 60-something of your population is a target. Not because they are illegal, but simply because they are something that is threatening their existence. seeing palm-colored people speaking so lightly of this and the excitement and the joy that is in their face. My people, sometimes you ask, I don't know if what we've heard and what we've read about them is true. You don't have to be anything else to understand the pain of others. You just need to be human. And from evidence and what we are looking at, they lack that. They lack that. So that's why a lot of people be wondering, are they really, or we are dealing with fully, anywho. Y'all are going to let me know what you think about this. I know a lot of you are like, well, you voted for this. Hey. Yeah. Put your thoughts in the comment section. And you, my people, you better stay safe out there, okay? It is such scary times to be alive. And sometimes some of these situations don't even make it any easy. Because again, these people are trying to make sure that they keep you in panic. And in that situation, I would like to say that even in days like this, I think we still have a place to run to and be safe mentally, spiritually, and physically, even when our world is torn apart. Today I worked in my Airbnb here in Uganda, so if you see someone moving in the background, that's because she's helping me. Yes, but you guys are going to let me know what you think in the comment section. I think from me for today, that's it. I do love all of you, and I want you guys to stay safe. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And what would you say? What advice would you say to the Latinos? Yeah, to the Latinos, from me to you guys, be safe. Be safe. I'm not going to be insensitive and be like, this is what you voted for. Yeah, this is an evil portal. Some people didn't know how extreme this is going to go. Regardless of history, because things had proven that there's really a chance that you could give these people a second chance and be like, okay. But I think these are the days. Yeah, I'll see you in another amazing video. Until then, my name is Gracie and I love all of you. Stay safe. Bye.